life isn't fair. It was never meant to be fair, and it'll never be fair. Like, but what are you actually going to do about it to improve yourself so that you do get the results you really want in life? Like, a lot of people won't go through that pain and struggle to reach the other side, but in order to not suffer in the long term, you need to suffer a bit in the short term. Just remember that the suffering will come regardless. So, are you going to suffer now or are you going to suffer later?
That's good. I like how you put that because that's the truth. Yeah, you got to put the hard work in. And if you put the hard work in now, then the things that you have on the other side could be absolutely amazing. However, if you don't put in any work at all, you're just going to suffer slowly over time. So it's either a harder suffering now or a long term suffering.
Right, right.
Yeah. And as Ahmad's saying here, um, enjoy the process. You really have to enjoy the process because when you think about it, I like to think about it all the time. Like when you're suffering to get to a goal and you're stressed out and it sucks, you're thinking about how much it sucks. But then once you finish the whole thing, you look back and you love and remember all those times you were struggling. If
Hmm.
somebody gives you $1 million, you're gonna, yes, appreciate that moment, but there was no struggle to get there.
Right, right. And it's all about, the journey and not the end result. I'm sure everyone's probably heard that, a million times, but it's true. It's who you've become in that process, that struggle, that and then the person that you've become, and then afterwards, climbing the next mountain and then the next mountain, so that before, you leave this earth, like you're able to accomplish as much as you can and really, make your mark on this world, because it should never be too comfortable. Should always strive to climb the next mountain, because look at someone like Andrew Tate. After he stopped, doing the professional fighting, he started like a webcam business. He became a millionaire. So there's always that next mountain to climb.
Absolutely. And truth, even with what you're saying here, I'm sorry, man. It's just the reality. Some people are born naturally with great looks and they can get women pretty easily. However, that's also a curse in and of itself because they don't have the social skills to keep the woman. So understand that everything comes, all of us have, we're born, if you think of like any type of RPG game, we're all born with different values in the different areas of life. And then it's up to us to level up in the other areas so that we can live the life that we really want. And you don't ever want to stop. There is no cap to your potential. You want to keep working, and whatever you want to be working on, whatever area of life, keep going, man, because you never know what's on that other side once you've reached a certain level.
Right, right. And to add to that, like most people these days, to be honest, they're weak as piss. Like they give up way too soon before they're even close to getting the results that they really want. They try a few things, whether it's in dating, business, or fitness, whatever, and it doesn't work out. Like they just throw in the towel way too soon. That's my problem with the current society. And also, I mean, to be honest, there's a point where you can struggle to get something and then you can pivot and go in a different direction, kind of like the Roomba robot. But you should never just give up on, wanting to accomplish your goals in life.
Yeah, and I don't think, here's another thing too. Don't ever apologize for who you are or who you want to be. Because a lot of times I haven't even said this one or thought about it in a while, but one thing that I experienced, and you may be experiencing as you're starting your YouTube channel, is that as soon as I started to become a dating coach, it was like crabs in a bucket. And I had a lot of people from my past trying to tear me down because
Hmm.
they didn't want me to reach the next level. So
Hmm.
don't let others tear you down when
Right.
you're on your journey because they will. They will discourage you.
Right. So, speaking of which, when I went on this entrepreneurial journey, I actually had to cut off a few drinking buddies because they were ultimately holding me back from success. You need to put yourself around people who are going to lift you up, not pull you down, like the crabs in the barrel analogy. If you're the sum of the five people you hang out with, so if you're hanging out with five losers, you're the sixth loser. Should be putting yourself around successful people who are going to bring you up, who are going to who have been there, done that.
Take inventory of your life.
Mm.
So when you have to cut certain people out of your life,
Mm.
like this baggage as you were talking about,
Mm.
the five people that you have around you,
Yeah.
take inventory of your life and understand that you may have to cut some of those people out, or at least severely limit the amount of time you communicate or see them. And that is scary. Okay. It's just as scary as leaving a job to become self-employed as you did. It's scary because then you don't have as many people around you, or you may, quite frankly, if you take true inventory, you may have nobody. But that's an opportunity for you then to grow, and you can find like-minded individuals that are also on a path, and then also can help boost you up. You can help boost them up, and then you're going to get to a whole nother level of yourself that you would have never thought you could have reached.
I want to talk about my own father briefly. And if you're here right now, hi, Dad. He could be, but he was pretty strict on me. When I was in grade school, if I got an A, it was just average. If I got a B or below, it's bad. I ran track and cross country, and if I did good, he said, "Okay, good. Well, you're supposed to." But if I didn't do good, he'd be sarcastically say, "Well, at least you finished." And I spent so much time on Friday nights, Friday afternoons, playing video games when everyone else my age was out being social. And he would take shots at me for doing that. Like, everyone else your age is out socializing. Why are you at home by yourself playing video games? I used to resent him for that. But now looking back, I'm almost, you know, I'm thankful that I had a father that, was a little hard on me, who gave me some tough love, because it's hard to come by, a good father figure these days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I think it's so important that we spend the time on self development so that we can be that good father.
Hmm.
Because I definitely think a lot of people fall short in that area.
But a man's value goes up with age. So, if you're a young 17-year-old, 18-year-old boy, well, you don't have, a whole lot of value. Let's say you're a 17-year-old boy and you try to apply for a six-figure job. I'm not saying that's impossible, but the hiring manager is probably going to be like, "What? You're 17, kid. Like, we'll take you on as an intern, but like we can't give you the job. You're too young. You don't have enough experience." So, you know, but that same guy, a few years, gains that experience and reapplies, then he can get that job. It's just, I knew that my value was gonna go up with age, so I would tell my younger self that, hey, you're struggling right now, but just know that in the future, you're gonna go through this amazing transformation, and a lot of the problems you have now, like, they won't even be problems you have in the future. Like, you're worrying about silly stuff right now because the old me, just dirty websites, video games, didn't know what else to do, didn't really have a job, and socially awkward, lacked social skills, but had to go through a lot of trial and error. But I learned, and I you craft yourself, like a sculpture. What you guys need to do is you guys need to find your passion and your purpose in life, what you were put on God's green earth to do. Okay, not conform with what the 99% or everyone else's society is doing, because you do what everyone else is doing, you're going to get those same results, which suck. So you need to figure out what you were talented in, and pursue your passion, really craft that out and figure out what you're really good at, so that way you can really do something you're passionate about. And that's why I always encourage guys to be self-employed, to have their own businesses. That way they're able to build something and become the boss of their own life. From here on out, I'm going to do everything in my power to be the best man that I can be, that even if I'm laying on my deathbed and I still didn't get where I want to be, well, I gave it my all. I gave it my all.